Hey guys, how you doing? Today's video is going to be a review video on my wife's tractor. It is a John Deere 4066R, so it is the 4 Series John Deere tractor. She's had this since it was brand new in 2018, and she's put about 1,600 hours on it. Me and her have used it quite a bit, and in this video I'm just going to go around and tell you the pros and cons and what we like and dislike about this tractor. So this tractor is a 66 horsepower tractor, which means it does not require DEF. It still does go through the burn off cycles. They usually leave it on high idle most of the time for what they do, especially mowing. So it seems to cycle through every like 70 hours, which isn't really a lot at all. She's had absolutely no emissions issues with this tractor, which is really surprising because basically every other tractor has emissions issues. But this one so far has had no issues. So it's a hydrostatic transmission, which is great because all of our employees can easily learn how to drive this thing. No issue at all. It's very easy to figure out. Everything is easily marked out and easily visible in the cab, which is great. Basically, you got 3 ranges: slow, medium, high. Usually leave it right in medium for the girls, and that's what they work in. So the primary use that we use this tractor for is A, mowing her property. She has like 70 acres. She has an equestrian farm. So she does all of her mowing herself. So we have 2 mowers over here that we use for it. Just a John Deere mower here, and just another aftermarket one here. One of them tilts, the other one just stays in one place. They also use this tractor with the front loader, obviously, to move all of their horse poop and stuff. I did the math once, and it was something crazy, like 700 yards of horse poop a year that they deal with. So she has this nice big 1-yard bucket to move all of the horse poop, which is really nice. It's also good for snow, and it's just a a light material bucket because obviously you can't fill that up with gravel. When she does want to actually move gravel or sand around, she has a smaller dirt bucket here. It's more like a 1/4 of a yard. She does a lot of dragging too with her outdoor and indoor arenas. So first I'll just do a little walk around and just kind of point out some things on the exterior. Number one, it's really easy to grease, especially compared to my Kubota I have. So I got an M5 Kubota. It's a 91 horse, so it's quite a bit bigger and beefier than this. But it's also something to compare to. This tractor is much easier to grease. This tractor really doesn't see any grease, as a matter of fact. Like on my Kubota, instead of being smart like John Deere and putting the Zerk here, they decided to put it here. And on my Kubota, it's like up here more, and it's really hard to find and get to. So they do a much better job of making the grease zerks easier to locate and easier to grease, just comparing it to my Kubota. What I don't like about this tractor is it's not quick attach. So it's just the John Deere style with 2 hooks over there and a cotter pin on each side. This system is actually quicker and better in my opinion. It's just the quick attach is much more difficult to actually, on my Kubota it's much more difficult to actually grab and try to get the pins out. This is just much simpler, much faster, but the downfall is obviously I can't use any of my attachments with this John Deere. It needs to be actually a John Deere specific attachment, which kind of sucks. But so this tractor, I'm just gonna rough ballpark guess, probably weighs anywhere from 5,000 to 6,500 pounds. So it's a pretty light, compact tractor. It's kind of in between like a homeowner tractor or being like a commercial tractor. So it's kind of a good in-between size. One downfall with being this small of a tractor is it can't really lift a whole lot. So this tractor is rated for like 2,300 pounds, something like that. And you absolutely do not want to lift anything that heavy without a weight on the back. So she has a weight over here. She used to have it full of cinder blocks, and I said screw that. So me and a guy had some time. We came over here and dumped like 10, 12 bags of structural skin and actually mixed it with motor oil and water. Laugh all you want, but didn't crack at all. It's not even concrete. This stuff is solid. So that right there weighs like 800 pounds we factored, something like that. So we usually put that on when she needs to move something heavy with pallet forks. She also has a pusher over here. Well, I got her this basically for Christmas. Just a cheap XP30 Express Steel. It's a good company. I literally called them and they made it that day. Sent it right over. Kind of wish they would have gave us a heads up, but still really fast turnaround. Just a rubber blade, 8 feet wide, and she said she likes it. So it can only lift 2,300 pounds, and even lifting around 1,600 pounds is kind of sketchy, especially without any weight on the back. So that's one big downfall of this machine, is obviously the the low weight capacity. Another thing that I don't like, my Kubota came stock with some hydraulic ports, so I can hook up to a grapple or a sweeper. This does not, so definitely a downfall in that. Outside here, everything's really simple and easy to get to. One downfall is only the hood part will lift up. You actually have to take the side panels off separately, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. But everything, you know, is pretty easy to get to. Everything's pretty easy to change and check on. Another nice feature here, we don't really use it that much just because we have the quick attach for the back, so we really don't need to get out of the cab ever. But one real nice feature is you can actually move the tractor forward and back when you're trying to hook up an implement. Like I said, we don't really use it just because we have the quick attach system right here. But if you didn't, this would come in handy. You basically need to put the tractor into the low end, leave it on low idle, and put like the parking brake on or whatever, and then you can actually use it. You can also adjust the back with that knob there. As you can see, it's going down. Obviously turn it on to get it to go up. Another good benefit about this tractor is it's not very tippy. I'm able to actually mow on pretty steep hills just because of the wide stance, as you can see there. I mean, it's wide for a small compact tractor. It's obviously not wide for, you know, a big farm tractor by any means, but it's not very tippy, or not tippy at all as far as mowing on hills. So with it being 66 horsepower and only like maybe 5,500 pounds, it has absolutely plenty of horsepower for doing what we do. Pulling those little mowers over there that are like 8, maybe 9 feet wide. Has plenty of horsepower to do that. Now we're gonna go in the cab, and here's where my complaints really mainly start. So I've had many Kubotas, and many Kubotas this size I've had one Kubota that was, you know, this class was only like 45 horsepower, but it was like the same cab, and my Kubota cab had much more room than this. It's not a complaint for her because she's only like 5'2", but me being 6'2", and when all the girls at our barn are using it, they always have the seat forward. I literally can't even get in. This cab is just so incredibly small for a big person. You know, like I said, if you're like 5'10" and under, it's not a big deal. But if you're anywhere, you know, 6'2" or anything like me, even with the seat all the way back, I am incredibly crunched in. Basically, to operate the foot pedals, my leg is at a complete 90-degree angle. I know on my Kubota, I can actually get completely straight with my leg, and I'm not even close in this cab. The air ride seat obviously is good, especially when you're mowing with all of our bumps and stuff on the property. But overall, this cab for me is just way too small. I mean, my legs are literally hitting the steering wheel right now, and the seat is all the way back. One thing that I really love, especially compared to my Kubota, is the actual loader handle. Kind of feel like you're flying a plane. I just love the way that your hand sits on it. It's actually in a really good spot. My Kubota's like way up here, and it's just so weird to actually move around. But this is a much more comfortable feel against your hand. So onto the buttons over here. Sorry, everything is so dirty. Obviously you have all cruise control, which is awesome. It has an auto brake system too that you can actually adjust. So when you're actually going and you take off your gas, the machine will stop, and you can adjust how quickly or how slow it stops, which is a really nice feature. Obviously this is how you raise and lower your back. Your throttle right here, you have your lights here, hazards, obviously your emissions, blinkers, windshield wiper. One complaint that I do have is the four-wheel drive. So when you want this tractor to go into four-wheel drive, you have to literally slam this as hard as you possibly can, and sometimes it will still come out of four-wheel drive on you. My Kubota just has a knob on the floor that's extremely easy, and it doesn't ever slip out of four-wheel drive. This slips out of four-wheel drive constantly. This is a really bad design here. It's just, you know, not strong enough at all. Another big issue that I have is the lack of cubby space. I know in my Kubota I have much more cubbies to store stuff in. This literally has a horrible cup holder, like nothing fits in there correctly. And this is literally all you have for a cubby room, which definitely sucks. But it is what it is. A little bit of cubby room down there too. Another thing that John Deere really screwed up and I can't stand is they put a nice little shock absorber or a strut, whatever you call that, right there to actually stop the door from closing or going out too much. And they cheaped out with this door that doesn't have anything. So every once in a while you want to actually get into this tractor through this side. You either have to hold the door open or pray there's strong enough wind to actually keep it open. It's also kind of dangerous too, and a good way to actually break your glass. No fancy sunroof or moonroof like my Kubota, but that's all set. I like it on my Kubota because when I'm loading something very tall, I can actually see out here and watch my loader load a big truck. With this, you can't really load a big truck anyway, so no need for a sunroof. Big complaint here is the actual radio. The speakers in here are trash. She blamed me for blowing up the speakers, but I definitely didn't. And even before the speakers are blown, they were absolutely horrible. You could barely hear anything. I'm just comparing it to my JCB equipment and my Kubota speakers, which are far superior. Another issue that we have is the actual heat and AC. The heat and AC works okay, not that great. Definitely my JCBs and Kubotas are better, but there's literally no floor vents for your feet or legs. So your upper body will be extremely hot or extremely cold, whatever you have on, and then your lower body will be completely different, which is definitely very annoying. Another small issue that I see here too is there's no ventilation window. In my Kubota, I have a couple of little small ventilation windows that I can crack open to keep the windows from fogging up. This tractor doesn't have that. All it has is the doors and one giant back door here, and that's it. It'd be nice if they could put maybe just a little window here where this column is. Maybe make the cab just a little bit bigger. That way you can actually get some ventilation in here. Another thing that I absolutely couldn't believe with this tractor is there's no cord for your heater. So when it's extremely cold days, you actually have to park this tractor inside. You can't just plug it in and have it start outside on a cold day. You need to actually bring the tractor inside. Obviously you can put one in, but it's absolutely ridiculous that it doesn't come with that stock. As far as road speed, it's actually pretty good. It's like 18 miles an hour, which is really nice for something this size. I wish my skid steers went that fast. Obviously they don't. So it's roughly the same speed as my Kubota. Seems to be extremely efficient on fuel, especially compared to my 91 horse Kubota and my 74 horsepower skid steers. Seems to do quite a bit better job of actually being efficient on fuel. But overall, it's been a really nice tractor for her. She's used it, like I said, 1,600 hours, and the thing has very rarely been broken. I think the glass window broke once because of the strut thing over there. But other than that, it's been a really reliable tractor. It's treated her great, and it's basically perfect size and perfect for what she does. So if you guys are looking for a tractor that can still be small enough to tackle some small jobs and be strong and big enough to actually mow a big field or do some bigger work on your farm, this is definitely a very good tractor. Kind of splits the difference. It's in between. Does a very good job at that. It's not so big that you have to worry about DEF and emission issues, and it's also not so small that it can't really lift or pull a big mower. So like always, you guys, thanks for watching. Any comments or maybe some updates on maybe the new model of this, leave down in the comments below. Thanks a lot.